We've got Sam Mizer in sport mode at the light. Nobody to race. He's brake torquing now.
Oh, you have to get it to turn on. You can't floor it because it shuts off.
So even in sport mode, it still shuts off. There's got to be a switch.
Where's the...
Right here. Peppy.
That's Peppy.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Backroad Driver. We're the Mizer brothers, and today we have a 2021 F150 Powerboost. It's the first one we've been able to get our hands on for a review. It happens to be a limited. It's more like a Lincoln Navigator black label on the inside than it is Ford.
Absolutely. And guys, you know that we're gearheads and that we drive supercharged trucks and modify everything. But the future is right back here behind us with electric motors and all that sort of stuff. So we've got to check it out and see where the future is taking us.
Like it or not, we got to figure this electric motor hybrid system out and see what the future of modern cars is. Let's jump right into it. In this video, we're going to walk you through what it feels like to drive this, because you've got regenerative braking, you've got some little quirky things like the motor cutting off at low speeds that just make a Powerboost truck different. We're also going to go through the Powerboost system and tell you how that system works, what the components are, and what you can expect as far as efficiency out of this truck. It's not a Tesla P100D. The Powerboost has a 1.5 kilowatt battery compared to a P100D's 100 kilowatt battery. But what the Tesla doesn't have is a gas engine, a 3.5 liter twin turbo gas engine behind it to make sure that that battery stays charged 100% of the time.
So the electric motor in the new Powerboost is rated at 44 horsepower by Ford and 221 foot-pound of torque. What that equates to in your actual horsepower numbers is 430 horsepower and 570 foot-pounds of torque, compared to the standard 3.5 liter EcoBoost with 375 horsepower and 470 foot-pound of torque. You can see where the Powerboost gets its name. So for all us gearheads out there, the best way to measure how quick a truck is your 0 to 60 time. The new Powerboost F150 does 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds. So compared to the 5.0 liter V8, which does it in 6.3 seconds, and the 3.5 liter EcoBoost that does it in 6.1, it's quite a bit faster.
So we're coming up to a stop sign really slow in a parking lot. The engine's actually running, foot's on the brake, and the engine is off. And we're purely, it's not just your stop start. This happens at low speeds. Even when we're just doing about 20 miles an hour in a parking lot, the engine actually cuts off and goes strictly off battery power. That's where you lose a lot of your fuel efficiency, is when you're just creeping around. And so this improves fuel efficiency because you're not using your gas engine at low speeds.
This new Powerboost truck has regenerative braking as well. How does that feel, Brad? How does the pedal feel over there?
So I'm gonna not lie, and I'm gonna tell you that I've read up a little bit on this, because this is obviously, this Powerboost stuff is all new to me. And what I read was, instead of having like a 0 to 10, as you push down on the pedal, there's different increments of braking. That's kind of how my prior gen is. This is like a 0, 5, 10. So it's got like this weird hardness in it. It's not necessarily a click or a pop, but it's almost like you're pushing against a brick and then all of a sudden you can get it to stop. So it's a little bit different, but I do know that when the brake's on, we're actually charging the battery. That's kind of cool, but it's not the smoothest braking, and it's not like the regular F150 without Powerboost on braking. So you get the function out of it, but I don't give it high marks on the brake feel.
So the new electronic braking system has its quirks. It's doing its job, but it is a feel thing, and so some people are not going to like the feel of these new brakes for sure.
That's right. A lot of people care about efficiency, about miles per gallon, about range, and how far they can go on a tank. What size tank is this?
This is a 30.6 gallon tank.
If it's 30.6 gallon tank, they say it gets about 24 miles to a gallon. Real world, I don't know that you'll actually get that, but if that's true, how many miles can you get on a tank?
That's 700 miles of range off of a tank of gas in this thing. And this is a 5,000 pound truck, above 5,000 pound truck, and it's got 430 horsepower. And you're going to be able to go 700 miles on one tank of gas.
You'd have to have a diesel with like a 40 gallon tank to be able to get in that range. And you don't have to pump diesel if you drive this gas truck. That's pretty important. So we did mention this is a limited. It's in Star White. This thing is on another level. So my wife's Navigator is not a black label. This truck is black label level. It's unbelievable on the inside.
The materials in this truck are in a league of their own. All of the leather is very fine leather, like you would find on a nice leather bag. The stitching is incredible. There's unique metal finishes. There's blue tinted carbon fiber. Everything in here feels nice. All limited models have their own serialized VIN number, and you're going to get that badge right here on your console. The seats are about 3 notches up from a Lariat. The leather feel on these is in a league of its own, and the headliner is actually a suede type material, and you're just not going to find that in the lower trim levels.
You're not going to find that until you get into an upper level Mercedes-Benz. I mean, it's just plush. This is a very nice place to spend a lot of time. Now that we've driven this truck down the road for a bit of time, I want to give you my opinion from a gearhead. I want to say that it's probably not worth $3,200 to pick up that little bit of extra performance, because you're also picking up the extra weight. Is 0 to 60 1 second, or I guess 0.8 seconds faster, worth $3,200? It is if you want the 7.2 kilowatt Pro Power on board. Sam, can you not go a step down on that and get it on the 3.5 and on the 5.0? If you got the 3.5,
I think you can get the 2.4 kilowatt Pro Power on board, which is still going to do a lot. It'll run a camper. It's not going to run an entire job site though. So you've got to decide what your needs are. With that 2.4, you're going to be able to run drills and a saw and, you know, a lot of things. You're not going to be able to run a small city like the 7.2 kilowatt package can.
You're going to see in just a second when we go into the technical specs, there's a ton of parts that make up this system. I don't know how that's going to pan out when it's 10 years down the road and you own this truck and you're trying to keep all those systems going. It's not been put on a vehicle before, to my knowledge.
One thing to note here in the cabin of the truck is you've got your 120 volt outlet, just like on all the other F-150 trucks in the past, but this one's a 20 amp outlet on your Pro Power on board packages, and that means that you can run anything that you would on a home outlet right here in the cab of your truck. With the old 120 volt outlet, you only had 400 watts, and so you could barely charge a laptop and that sort of thing.
Go ahead and hit subscribe down below if you like the 2021 F-150 content. We've got an entire playlist where we've reviewed several trucks. Give us a thumbs up on the video to help us with YouTube's algorithm. Now, let's talk about the technical stuff. And this is not my wheelhouse, it's more Sam's wheelhouse. And honestly, I don't think that two gearheads would ever have gotten into this if we weren't doing this review. But we've really become convinced that hybrid powertrains and all-electric powertrains are the future. When you start seeing hypercars add motors at individual wheels and battery packs, and they're talking about getting bigger and bigger packs and lighter packs, you've got to know that that's going to trickle down and that that's where high performance is going.
The Powerboost system on the F-150 is very complicated. It has many parts to it. It's not just a battery and a motor somewhere stuffed away. This is an integrated system that runs from the front of the truck to the back of the truck.
I did notice, I actually climbed up under the truck, and the Powerboost system is wrapped in orange, like an orange sheath. And so from the very front, when you pop the hood and you look at the components in there, it has orange wire coming out of it, or orange sheathing coming out of it. When you get under and you look against the frame, it's orange. When you go to the power inverter, it's orange. When you go to the battery, it's a big orange wire. And when you go all the way over to the inverters, it's orange. So you can trace that whole system under the truck.
That's for safety, guys, because some of the voltages running through there will zap you. This isn't your regular 12 volt battery system that will spark and it's not going to hurt you. This will actually hurt you, guys.
This will light you up.
This Powerboost system has, I think the brains of it are underneath the hood next to the battery. That's where all the computing power is going to be. That's going to run down. You're going to have an electric motor built inside of this 10-speed transmission, and you're also going to have your Pro Power on board mounted underneath the truck as well. The battery is mounted underneath the bed of the truck, and it doesn't interfere with your carrying capacity in your bed. So your Powerboost system is constantly deciding where to send power. Does it send it to the Pro Power onboard to run tools, or does it send it to the electric motor to help with the truck? It's taking that into account all the time. And so it's a true hybrid system with an inverter built in. Powerboost and Pro Power onboard are a one-of-a-kind option, and you know that other competitors are going to jump into this game. This technology is just going to improve.
When you add the Pro Power on board, the flip down workspace, some of the creature comforts that you've got in here, I mean, this is the ultimate working truck for the 150 and the 1500 series. You obviously can jump into your 250, 350, 450 series and pick up some additional neat things, but this is an awesome working truck.
And guys, you don't have to have a limited to get Pro Power on board or Powerboost. Powerboost is available from your XLT all the way up. So whatever trim level you want, you can get Powerboost.
You could get a nice work truck built up and not spend the $70,000 that this limited with ridiculous two-tone navy leather has, and have a really nice work rig. So final verdict, it's not a performance monster, so don't buy it for the horsepower. Buy it for the efficiency, buy it for the miles per gallon, buy it for the ridiculous range. Buy it because you can plug tools in and you can plug big stuff in the cab, and you can actually run a job site off of this. There's lots of compelling reasons on the Powerboost.
That truck behind us is actually running right now, and I can only hear a small fan or something. I just ordered a V8 because, guys, I'm not ready for the future, but you know, some people are.
This is where it's headed, guys. Comment down below, tell us what you think about the Powerboost system. What are the pros, what are the cons? Did you learn anything? Make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.